Grant, thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to talk some 49ers Cardinals football. My first question for you, I want to get your input on everything the Cardinals are doing from the outside, right? I mean, I feel like so much of Cardinals fans talk amongst each other. A lot of the media talks amongst each other. What is your viewpoint of the Cardinals and how they are doing the rebuild thus far?
Well, the Niners seem extremely impressed. They kept talking about it all week, saying, like Kyle even said it, Kyle Shanahan, he's like, this really reminds me of the Niners under when he was in his first year as a head coach. They started off 1-10 and finished the year 6-10. And he feels like the Cardinals could do something similar if the Niners aren't careful. Now, it's hard to tell whether the Niners are really impressed with the Cardinals or we're just really down on Cliff Kingsbury. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
Because if you remember, the Niners defensive coordinator is Steve Wilks. He got fired and replaced by Cliff Kingsbury. That wasn't fair. He's a better coach than Cliff Kingsbury. So I think a lot of people in the Niners organization think that Cliff was a bit of a joke or just a joke. And now I think it's either that the Cardinals have a really good coaching staff or they just have a competent coaching staff and the previous one was terrible. But it seems like the Niners finally respect that outfit. I don't think they expect to lose to the Cardinals this weekend, but they definitely respect them in ways they haven't in years.
And then flipping things over to the San Francisco side of the conversation, I mean, you guys are arguably playing the best football in the NFL right now. I mean, you're the only team to have clinched a playoff spot. You can clinch the NFC West with a win at State Farm Stadium. Is this the year? Because, I mean, 2 NFC title games out of the last 3 seasons, right? You're right there. Is this the year you guys finally get over the hump and, finally host that Lombardi Trophy?
It seems like it's their year. I mean, they've been the best team in the league all year, except for that little stretch where they lost 3 games in a row. But essentially, they've been the best team in the league all year. They have the MVP, either front runner or runner up in Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. They're going to probably have the offensive player of the year or runner up in Christian McCaffrey. They could have the coach of the year in Kyle Shanahan. They could have the executive of the year in John Lynch. Like, they have the coordinator of the year in Steve Wilks. Really across the board, they have excellence. And it feels like this is the best team they've put together. Last year, they went to the NFC Championship game, and now they have a better Brock Purdy and Javon Hargrave. Only thing is, they're the 4th oldest team in the league, and they're pretty banged up this week, although it feels kind of like they're just resting people because it's the Cardinals, no offense. But yeah, it's like, how is this team going to hold up down the stretch? Because it is an older team. But other than that, it seems like if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it would almost be embarrassing. Like, they're expected to bring this one home. Kyle, everyone. Like, dude, you're supposed to be the best coach in the league. You have the MVP quarterback. You have the team. Don't find another way to lose it in the Super Bowl like you did those other 2 times. I think we're there, essentially.
Yeah, it very rarely does it feel like it's Super Bowl or bust for a lot of teams and that mantra to be true, but it really feels like all eyes are on the 49ers to really bring this thing home.
Absolutely. And it's, again, why wouldn't they? Like, what other team is as good as them in the league? Maybe Baltimore? We'll see. They're going to play each other in a week. If it's not Baltimore, it seems really like it's only the Niners who can beat themselves. And again, Kyle Shanahan has done that. He's authored 2 of the biggest Super Bowl collapses in history. So all eyes on him.
All eyes on him, indeed. And then I do want to focus a little bit more on this matchup. And I think you already kind of touched on it a little bit. How are the 49ers approaching this week 15 road victory? I know a couple guys might be resting. They're talking very highly, trying to, at least from the outside, make it look like they're not overlooking the Cardinals. Right. I mean, they've said very, very nice things, but like, how do you feel like the team is really approaching this game on Sunday?
Yeah, they're making it seem like they're not overlooking the Cardinals. Hell of a team, really well coached, fly to the football, urgency, won 2 of the last 2, easily could have won 3 of their last 4. But then it seems like anyone who's hurt isn't playing. And you kind of get that feeling like, hey, if this were a playoff game, maybe they would play. Or, hey, really got to have Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave and Dre Greenlaw 100% healthy for the Ravens next week. That's the thing. You got the Ravens next week. And how do you not look forward to that game? It seems like the Niners, when they play a team like the Ravens or the Eagles, the attitude in the building is, man, if you can walk, you can play. Get on the field. This is a statement game for us. But this is not one of those games for them. This is one of those games where everyone's picking the Niners to win, and they think that, we could win this one without Armstead. and Hargrave. So it's like they could potentially be down 7 starters in this game. There's a few guys who are questionable. We'll see what happens. But should they be able to beat the Cardinals without Armstead, Hargrave, Greenlaw, Travarius Ward, Spencer Burford, Aaron Banks? Yeah. But what does that mean about their mindset if they're letting so many people, like, are they going to approach the game with the urgency that they need to? I don't know. You always look at teams losing games they should win. This feels like it could be one of those for the 49ers. I'm not picking the Cardinals to win this game, but
Sure.
There's a lot going in the Cardinals. They're coming off a bye week too, right?
Yep. They're coming off a bye week, and then the week
Yep.
before they went to Pittsburgh, and after they beat the Steelers, there were multiple players in the Steelers locker room that said, "Yeah, we didn't prepare for them. We definitely overlooked them."
There you go. Yeah.
That does kind of tie into my next question. I mean, their Niners open is like 13.5-point favorites. I mean, it feels like everybody in the world, including us two, expects the 49ers to maybe not easily, but definitely walk out of State Farm Stadium with a win on Sunday. What has to go wrong for the Cardinals to get their 4th win of the season?
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it's something. I mean, I can say like turnovers, right? But I'm not going to say that. I don't even know if it's something that goes wrong. But I don't know if people realize it, but Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave are out. They're not playing. 2 starting defensive tackles. So the starting defensive tackles will be the backups. Javon Kinlaw, good player, and Kevin Givens, good player, but not as good as the starters. And it seems to me that the Cardinals have a really good run game. I mean, they're averaging 4.7 yards per carry. So are the Niners. And now, what if the Cardinals win the line of scrimmage? What if they get pushed at the point of attack on Kinlaw and Givens the way they wouldn't against Armstead and Hargrave? That's a game. That's a game. All of a sudden, if the Cardinals they could control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Without Armstead and Hargrave, I don't know how the Niners are going to do defending the run between the tackles. And then on offense, Aaron Banks, left guard, Spencer Burford, right guard, both questionable. I don't know if they'll play. I don't know if they'll be 100%. If the Cardinals can somehow win the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball too, then they have a chance. Last time they played, it didn't seem like the Cardinals could do anything defensively against the Niners. Like Purdy was 20-21. McCaffrey went for 100-something yards and 4 touchdowns or something.
Moonwalked.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't do anything. But again, let's go back to the Cardinals offense. If they can run the ball and control the time of possession, like last year, the Niners earlier in the season went into Atlanta and lost. Similar game, rested a bunch of players, felt like, hey, it's Marcus Mariota. We can win this game without XYZ. And it just didn't. They lost 28-14. And yeah, they had Jimmy Garoppolo and he was terrible. And Brock's a lot better than him, but they gave up 28 points and they got dominated at the line of scrimmage because Armstead wasn't playing and stuff like that. So, I mean, that would be the one. If all of a sudden the Cardinals can just win the time of possession and really tire out the Niners backup D linemen who are starting.
Perfect. And then my final question, I mean, there's stars galore in San Francisco, right? Everybody from Brock to Debo to Kittle to McCaffrey to Ayuk, and then flip over to the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Fred Warner leads another star-studded cast, right? Give me one unsung player you think will make a difference on Sunday that fans probably don't know as far as like a household name.
Yeah. I don't know if fans of other teams know this guy yet. Jair Brown. I don't know if people know about him yet. He's a rookie. The Niners traded up in round 3 to get him and didn't start him. He was backing up Talanoa Hufanga, who was an all-pro last year. Hufanga tore his ACL. Brown comes in, and frankly, he's better than Hufanga. No disrespect to Talanoa, who's an excellent player. But Brown is just better in like every way. Faster, better tackler, better blitzer. He's just really explosive. Like right now, he looks like the 3rd best player on the defense right now.
That's
like
wild.
Bosa, Fred Warner, this guy. Like, I'm not going to say like he's Ed Reed or anything, but I'm not saying he's not. I think he's only started about 4 games, and this guy has range. You could put him in center field, and he can get sideline to sideline, or you could put him in the box, and he can be an enforcer. He's only played a few games, but look at his PFF grade is off the charts. He's really good. Yeah, he's going to be a guy who's going to be on this team for a long time. And then another unsung here on the defense, Diamador Lenore. He was just nobody's a 5th round pick, went to Oregon. He's really gotten a lot stronger. He plays in the slot. He plays outside. He's a really good cornerback. Those two guys in the secondary, really the entire secondary, it was always the Niners' weakness. But now they have Steve Wilkes, who's really a DB specialist. All these young corners and safeties that the Niners have really improved. So I'm going to go with Jair Brown and Diamador Lenore.